NBC2 on top of breaking news after a murder suspect pleads guilty to a 20-year-old cold case. Thanks for counting on NBC2. I'm Elise Chingari. Let's talk about this case. So Corey Devin Smith was killed in 2004. Only NBC2 was in the courtroom as Rodney Davis told the judge he killed Smith 20 years ago. Davis was sentenced to 40 years in prison for the murder. He's already served 2 years in jail on drug charges. Smith's niece was in court and says her family finally has some closure. We have a reporter on this story, and we'll have more updates at 4. Today is the day Cape Coral's J.C. Park is closing for the upcoming changes and major renovations to the park. There's been some pushback, as we know, about the ongoing changes, and this morning some residents gathered at the park to protest the renovations. NBC2's Mercedes Martinez is local at the park, speaking with residents who say they're not giving up.
The fence is now up here at J.C. Park. Work started as soon as the sun came out this morning here in Cape Coral. Reality is setting in as work will still proceed, even though there's been major pushback the last 18 months. This morning, a group of protesters are here today showing that they are not giving up.
This is what I'm going to be listening to.
The sound of construction will be the norm for nearby residents of J.C. Park. The city plans on adding in a boat dock, pavilions, a band shell, and a food truck court. Ever since these ideas were born and became a conversation 18 months ago, several people spoke up opposing this change.
It makes me feel horrible because the city council doesn't give a darn about the people. If they cared about what the people wanted, they would have tabled this issue a long time ago. But
for several months, people went to city council meetings trying to make sure changes didn't happen to J.C. Park. And as city officials move forward with work today, the community feels defeated.
There's nothing much to say. We lost. We lost. And we gave it a good old college try, but we lost.
Another part of the renovations is making a walkway close to the river, meaning the removal of the invasive Australian pine trees.
They're beautiful, and they're also, I think, protecting this neighborhood from the hurricane, from the storm surge.
One father came out here today to give his kids one last push on the swings. For a moment there, many people nearby thought that wouldn't be the case.
The park ranger initially threatened with probably arresting me, but I said I just want to give him one last push. And then Officer Nick Jones came over and I asked him, and he said, come on. He said, I'll take a picture with him and I'll push him.
J.C. Park is expected to reopen in the fall of next year. I'm local in Cape Coral, Mercedes Martinez, NBC2.
As we transition over to weather, some good news here for you is that we no longer will be seeing advisories on what was once Tropical Storm Oscar. As of 2 p.m., the National Hurricane Center says the system is no longer strong enough or organized enough to be considered a tropical storm. And so going forward here, there won't be any additional advisories coming up every couple of hours. What's left over, though, continues to move toward the northeast. So even though it isn't technically very far away from us, it will not play a role in our local weather, as that northeast movement will push it farther and farther away from Florida over the course of the next 2 to 3 days. Even though we no longer have Oscar to watch, we have to remember, of course, that we are still very much in hurricane season and for a while yet. The next area it appears we'll have to be watching would be the Western Caribbean. Now, there's nothing concerning there right now, but I did want to let you know that some forecast models are hinting at perhaps early November as a time to watch the Western Caribbean. Obviously, it would be too early to determine where anything would go if something was to organize, but that appears to be where the next place to watch will be as we continue to work through hurricane season together. No tropical concerns here locally, though, today as you look live from the top floor of the Edison Grand in Fort Myers. Conditions will be real nice for us over the next few hours, with temperatures dropping back into the mid and upper 70s after the sun goes down tonight, and rain chances staying less than 20%. When I come back at the top of the hour, we'll touch base on how the Gulf of Mexico water temperatures have changed over the last few weeks, most especially in the wake of Hurricanes Helene and Milton. We'll see you then.